Hey guys, Adam here. So today we're going to be reviewing the iPhone 6 in 2020. Now, this phone was released in September of 2014 and it was really extremely popular. Actually, one of the most popular smartphones in the world right now. And now that it's 6 years old, I want to tell you kind of how it holds up, what are the problems, what are some good things about it, and the specs of this. So let's talk about those specs. The specs of this phone is pretty average for 2020, actually probably below average. It has 1 gigabyte of RAM, an Apple 8 chip, and a dual-core processor that runs at 1.4 gigahertz. So what that basically means for the phone is that I guess it feels okay, you can get from point A to point B if you keep going here, and, you can see, it's not too bad. I mean, it's definitely not as fast as the current phones we have now. So that's what I'm going to be kind of saying for the rest of my review. It's kind of, most of the stuff that's on here is average, and, for basic users, or even some, for some gaming, it would be okay. But it's kind of average, for a phone in 2020. If we look at the Antutu benchmark score, it's a score of 73,664. So, comparing to some of my other phones I've recently reviewed, for example, like the Samsung Galaxy Core Prime was like 40,000. That knockoff phone that we reviewed was about 55,000. So you can kind of see how fast that kind of is. Comparing to something like the iPhone SE, the iPhone SE has about 120,000 of a score. So you can see it's definitely not as fast as the iPhone SE. Actually, I want to show you kind of how far we've come. So the iPhone 11 has a score of 545,608. Now, if we go all the way down to here, you can see 73,664. By the way, guys, I'm sorry for the background noise. I don't know what's happening with their dog down there. But, yeah. So, yeah, what I've been kind of saying that it's been average, well, I'm going to show you something a little bit better. So, even though the camera is pretty average, it's a little bit actually above average, and you can take some pretty nice shots if you go kind of close to the object, and then you can actually focus on it. Wow, that's actually a really nice photo. Okay, it's a little bit blurred, but on the back, like, it's kind of a little bit blurred. I kind of moved while I was, but it doesn't look too bad, honestly. Another thing that's not that average, it's actually okay, is the display. The display is 1334 by 750. And now that might not seem that much, it's not even 1080p. It is a Retina display, and it is used on the iPhone 11 and the iPhone XR. Now, the brightness is actually okay, 600 nits of brightness. And so that's actually almost as good as the iPhone XR panel, 625 nits. Now let's talk about the battery life. The battery life on this phone is okay. I haven't been using it too much today, and I'm about 66%. So today I've used about an hour and 24 minutes of screen on time. And by the way, my battery health is at 97%. So it's not that bad. However, don't expect to get a heavy usage. Like, don't use this too heavily, or else the battery will degrade a lot. And you'll see that when your battery dies at like 12 p.m. I'm going to be doing a little bit of a gaming test. I'm going to be showing you how it is. So we're going to start playing a simple game called Paper.io. So pretty simple game, and you can see it loads up pretty fast. So we're gonna, and it's definitely laggy at first, but then it gets better for sure. So yeah. If we try something like Slope Run, it actually runs okay. Not great at first, but it definitely runs better. So, yeah. The next game that we're trying is Pokeball, and this is a pretty simple game. At first it doesn't run great, but it runs a little bit better after some, after it starts, it lets everything load. You'll get most of the time a smooth 60 frames a second. You can see right here. So, yeah. Now we're going to be testing, how it's YouTube or Netflix, how, it runs. It's okay. The speaker's definitely not great, but it's definitely good, and it's a good watching experience. You can see no pixels or anything. So, yeah. The last thing that we're going to talk about is the price and if it's worth it or not. So if we look on eBay.com, most of them say about, $94, $99, $89. So that's what you'll, be getting. Somewhere you can get some deals like $79, you can see. Maybe one's even cheaper. So I'm just going to say, actually, here's one right here. One for AT&T. Seems like it's in pretty good condition. You can see about $65 plus $4 shipping. So that's a pretty good deal. Now if you want this as, if you like big phones, then I would definitely recommend this phone. If you don't have that much money to spend. Now, if you want a speedier but smaller phone, then I would recommend the iPhone SE. It's just your choice. And if you really wanted a big phone, those two factors, a big phone and a pretty speedy phone, then I would recommend the iPhone 6s. Actually, that's my main recommendation. I definitely recommend the iPhone 6s. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.